Hello everyone. Welcome to the third rail. This is your host Omar, where we talk about everything and anything. Today our subject is a crowd. Let me get this music off. I love this music, but I can't control it. I want to thank you all for supporting this channel, and I appreciate those who view it. And we'll try to bring you more content. Please make comments on the under the YouTube and let us know what kind of content you like, or give us an idea how we are doing overall. Today we're going to talk about the $50 million man, Steven Crowder. You know, he's a right wing, what do you call it? Creator who's mostly racist. He tells corny jokes. He was working at the Blaze, you know, with Glenn. So after he left the Blaze, he was looking for a new home. So he wanted to go to. He contacted the Daily Wire. So the Daily Wire offered him $50 million, which is unbelievable, for 4 years, and $75 million for 6 years, and a lot of perks. And he said no. He said no. I can't believe that he said no. That he's working good. So they negotiated, and that was just the starting point for the negotiation. That was 4 months ago. This was 4 months ago that this happened. So what he does is the guy came in and explained it. Whose name is I don't know, something guy named Bourne. He's like the co-owner of the Daily Wire with Shapiro. And first of all, 4 months later, after they disagree and everybody moves away, goes their own way. Excuse me, I had a bad cold. Give me a second. Let me drink some water. So after they offered him a $50 million contract as a starting point to negotiate, they could offer him more. He says he's worth more than that. He plays the tough guy, says, I don't want it, and he walks away. 4 months later, he comes back and calls them and rehashes the whole situation. At the same time, he's secretly recording the executive, the CEO of the Daily Wire, which is wrong. You don't do that. Okay, you walked away. You don't want the $50 million. So that's it. And I'm not defending the Daily Wire. They're all full of shit. They're all grifters, all of them. And the amazing thing, you see how much money they have? Right-wing media is full of money, slush money, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. See that reason? If you ever, give me a second, let me get my asthma pump. Because every time I say $15 million, my voice goes away. So he goes 4 months. Nobody's talking about it. He comes back and he's recording the owner of the. Let's see first what he has to say. I got this offline. Then he records him. Then he goes the next day and makes a video about a conservative company that is taking advantage of creators, that exploiting people. He tried to create a moment, and he didn't say it was the daily. It was the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, but everybody knew it was the Daily Wire. So he tried to create a moment where he's this martyr, that he's dying, that he's fighting the good fight for the small guy. I've never seen him have anybody on his show. Collaborate with small right-wing creators. He's full of shit. Let's see what he had to say first.
Exactly.
It's kind of unreal to me that the only thing these people can still talk about is the money. The conversation was about conservatism, the movement, and big tech. They keep talking about money.
You are talking about the money. So why would you go back and record the guy? It's not your business how that company is run. If you want to run your own company and you want to be this movement, I don't know what this movement is. Nothing but a fucking a divisive movement of Americans and putting Americans against American. Crowder, if it's not about the money, why would you go back 4 months later and call the guy and start talking about the contract? And you said you're worth $30 million a year. You don't put that in the recording, did you? And it's not about the money. It's about the conservative movement. Let me show you what kind of contact this motherfucker has. You tell me if he's. Let me see if this is it. Because I'm not organized. Forgive me. I'm gonna try to find it. Here you go. I think this is it.
Said it. I would have been. We were
Okay. This is the kind of contact that this douchebag makes. And you tell me if he's worth $50 million. This is from his show. He's a racist piece of garbage. He's a racist piece of garbage. And the Daily Wire is nothing but a bunch of grifters making money off right-wing media.
I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, Negro. Negro is the next one. Now, I know I just wanted to just boom. There's the cold water. The word Negro, we think it's so offensive. Or I got in trouble when I was saying it. I said it in a car once, and there was a black kid in the car. And I remember I said it. I would have been, we were carpooling. I said it specifically because I thought it was less offensive than black. Yeah. And the reason was because I'm French. And, you know, anyway, Latin, the Romance languages that come from French.
Now, the word Negro, they used to use it about 70, 80 years ago during the South. Nobody says that word anymore. And he's saying, well, you know, I think it's less offensive than calling the person black. You want to say the other word, but you don't know how. And this is called virtual singling. And this is a dog whistle all the way around to your rabbits, racist fans. This is what they're paying him $50 million for. I don't believe this. $50 million for what?
The word Negro, it's simply derived from Latin.
You understand? So this is the strangest thing I've ever seen. Strange. Let's go back to the idiot. It's not about the money. Go.
I'm talking about a country. I'm talking about a movement. I'm talking about...
He thinks he's saving America with that kind of context. It's about the country. It's about the movement. You don't have any movement. I watch your show. It's all about racism against Asians, against Arabs, against... Your whole shtick is against the LGBT community, or the election was stolen, or everything that is wrong with our society, you pick on it. All the racism and all the stuff, and picking on small, marginal communities like the LGBTQ community and other communities. This is how he makes his money. He's a piece of shit. He's garbage. He's not talented. And I don't know why the Daily Wire wants to pay him $50 million. That's $12.5 million a year. That's more than people make on TV, like Anderson Cooper. Not even that racist piece of shit on Fox. What's his name? Tucker Carlson makes that kind of money. Unbelievable money the right-wing media has. Let's see.
Making a difference. It's not about the money. And Jeremy and the Daily Wire know that. How do I know they know that? Because after... according to what he said, you know, I walked away from the offer. I did place one more call.
So why did you? So, okay, you walked away from the offer 4 months ago. Why would you come back? Why would you record him? Is that your business? How they run their business model? Why don't you just start your own production company? You know, it's kind of crazy that I'm defending Ben Shapiro, that garbage Zionist piece of shit, and I'm defending a grifter company like the Daily Wire. But you have to call out bullshit. This is called bullshit. He walked away from the $50 million as a starting point. He could have got more. He could have got 15 million probably or more. He went around, shopped around, and he can get it. He came back to try to get it. But if he didn't get it, he's going to create this moment that he's for the movement. I'm a martyr. I'm dying for you. I'm fighting for you. You see how they treat me? They have sold out. I'm the only one who hasn't sold out because he didn't get the money he wanted. That's all it is.
To the Daily Wire. And I made it very, very clear that it wasn't about money. That was not the topic of conversation. There was...
So why are we having this conversation if it's not about money? You are not under any contract to the Daily Wire. You have no business relationship with the Daily Wire. So it is not... You could criticize the Daily Wire, but not call the owner and record and secretly record him. That's wrong. I mean, you're lying. You're lying to your fans. You're lying to everybody, and you're looking like an asshole, a piece of shit. This is not the original video, by the way. The first video, it was very emotional. I'm fighting for the small creators. I'm going to be a martyr. Anybody who wants to join this fight, come to my company. We're going to start together. And it was all nothing but BS. Go ahead. I'm going to stop breathing in a minute.
Zero, as they've tried to portray this, miscommunication.
Okay.
It was one last call where the only thing that I asked for, my only demand, was their word, and not even for me, but for other people coming up.
Who are the other people? So he made that last call, not for him. It's not for the $50 million. He just wanted to make sure that they treat other people right. Shut the fuck. I mean, we're not stupid, man. We're Americans, man. We're not dumb. I had this cold 3 weeks, man. I'm dying, man. I don't know what it is, man. Sorry. Can't breathe.
Facing these kinds of contracts.
Let's say it's a kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, 100,000. Let's say some other kid you're paying 6 figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Okay. I'm not going to let you listen to it because you're going to waste your time. So the whole issue with the Crowder is they told him that we are a business. This is a contract. If you ever get banned from YouTube or get a strike for being a racist piece of shit that you are, we're going to cut it out of your contract. We can't lose money. He said, no, it's your business. No, but you're the one who's doing all the talking. And to add insult to injury, he wants to produce his own show with his own people in his own studio. The Daily Wire has nothing to say what he does or what he says. So they have to protect themselves as a business. It is very normal. You have to protect yourself as a business. You understand? It's a normal thing to do. Everybody does that. And he say, oh, they're with big tech. They're protecting big tech and they want to ban me and they want to punish me. No, they don't want to lose money. They want to make sure that you do your show. You could do your show without being a garbage piece of shit that you are. You could do your show without being a racist. Man, breathing is good, man. I'm telling you here. So let's look at some video. Let's look to another video. Let's look at Candace. Candace, what's that name? Hold on.
Once a week, and you're over here crying.
You know, when the Daily Wire had to bring Candace Owens out, Candace Owens is there only for black people. Her whole job, her whole career is just to attack black people, black activists, black organizations, anything that's black. She'll get up there, she'll get a new wig and get on Fox News and start saying the crazy shit. This is the first time I see her not attack a black person. But let's listen to what she has to say.
Nothing happened here other than nobody wanted to pay Steven Crowder $120 million. So he turned to his viewers who he thinks are stupid enough at least not to understand how business negotiations work, right? Like this.
He wanted $120 million. And he's all, oh, I didn't do it for the money. It's not about the money. It's not about the money. See how he talks? It is about the money, you piece of shit. Let's listen to Candace Owens.
This is like normal. You kick it back and forth. And they were going to make up for his loss. So people that are upset by his video, the millions of people who watched it, are now going to give him $1, whatever it costs to be in the mug club. And they're going to become the $120 million that he feels that he deserves. First of all, we're just going to say this, unrelatable. Unrelatable. People are trying to pay for bacon and eggs right now at the grocery store, trying to buy a steak once a week. And you're over here crying because somebody couldn't meet you at $120 million. And it is crying. I don't like it. It was a total bitch move. There are plenty of things that happen across all organizations in the conservative movement where I will say that I empathize with Steven Crowder and saying that sometimes you feel like a cynic, which is like, is everybody selling out? Are people doing this, people doing that? There are a lot of things that Daily Wire has done that I disagree with. There's a lot of things that Turning Point has done that I disagree with. There are things perhaps that PragerU has done that I disagree with. I have worked with all of these companies, right? But to do a total bitch move and go out to the public rather than trying to...
She's leading into her blackness today. She's seen a bitch move. That's my neighborhood. I grew up in these neighborhoods when we say these words. You know, I grew up in the poor neighborhoods with blacks and Hispanics, you know. But this is the first time that Candace Owens actually is leaning into her blackness. That's a bitch move. And, you know, and she's attacking a white person. Maybe, you know, this is the first step for her to stop attacking black people.
Resolve these things and these slight differences behind the scenes and to make it seem like you're the hero and you're the true one and you keep it authentic when something really nothing happened other than you didn't like an initial term sheet. And all you had to do was tell them that and tell them what you didn't like and go back and forth with lawyers like everybody else. Right. I think it's crappy. I think Steven is a little egocentric.
This is the first time I agree with Candace. She's right. It's all about the contract. It has nothing to do with the freedom fighting, the conservative movement to save the country. What are you saving the country from? You're the one who's ruining the country with your garbage and bullshit every day and your lies. He has a show. He has a gun right next to him and he has these gun holsters on him. Like, what is that? He is a disease that's inflicted on this country and making this country sick. It is the people like Steven Crowder and people like Candace Owen and Ben Shapiro. They are the disease. They are the sickness that is dividing Americans and creating this culture war that is not necessary.
He probably will do better on his own. I don't think he knows how to play on a team. And by the way, the last thing I'm going to say, because I'm going on Tim Pool's tonight, so I'm going to say it anyways later, is that I'm pretty sure, wasn't it Steven Crowder who also screwed over somebody he used to work with? Was it not Gay Jared? Because he had him tied up in a contract. Wasn't that Steven Crowder who did that? So is he supposed to be the moral high bar? Or are we not supposed to call him out for that? Here's the thing. Steven, why don't you release not Gay Jared from his NDA and allow him to talk about how he felt he was treated by you? Because I know that at the Blaze, everyone says that you're actually not that nice. You treat people poorly, but you bring in so much revenue that everybody just has to take it. So I don't like it. It stinks to high heaven. And I'm calling you out on that because I think it was crappy that you threw mud on me. Did it the first time via a tweet.
All right, she's absolutely right. I hate to say this. I'm actually agreeing with the worst people, the scum of the earth, Candace Owen, Ben Shapiro, on the Daily Wire. But what Crowder was trying to do, he's trying to create this moment. He went back, seeing if you could get the $30 million a year. He went $30 million. That's a lot of money. I don't know. How did they make that money, these people? I don't even make $100 on YouTube. I'm here struggling for $100. I haven't made $100 on YouTube. So he went back 4 months later, 4 months. This is already forgotten. The Daily Wire has moved on. They don't want him no more. They saw that they couldn't agree with him. They're business people. They are very smart business people. They're like, oh, well, this guy has an ego. I mean, we're not going to control him. He wants a lot of money. And if he's behaving like this as right now, how he's going to behave once we sign the contract? We don't need that. Big businesses don't want no headache. They don't like noise. They like people who make money in silence. Anyway, he goes back and he calls and he makes a video the next day and he does all this crazy stuff. I don't know if this is the right video. Let's listen to the owner of
there at the time. Then he was paid.
Hold on. Let me see what this video is.
Don't enjoy the same luxuries that we do of being independent.
Stephen.
Okay. Right here in this video, Steven Crowder is saying that he's independent. He's never been independent. He's been always owned by other companies, and he calls them out. This guy is very smart. This guy, go watch his video, the response. He dismantled him at the same time while praising him. Well, Steven is a talented guy, but boom. Steven is a famous guy, but boom. He dismantled him, and he made him look like a fool.
The whole time I've known him has worked for someone else. He was paid by PJTV. Paid by CRTV for a number of years, which was owned by a billionaire at the time. Then he was paid by The Blaze, which was subsidized by a billionaire. And he didn't necessarily have to be profitable. And he doesn't know for a fact that he was profitable. Because, as he has said very publicly, all those companies, none of them really shared all the information about what was happening with them. So Stephen feels very certain that his show was always profitable. But he doesn't know that his show was profitable.
Don't enjoy the...
Okay, what he's saying there is that he was always owned by another company, so he never really saw the numbers. If he was very profitable, how much money they made off him, how much money he showed. This is the first time on his own. He's scared, so probably he's not making the same money he did. So he went to the Daily Wire and tried to get back in their grace 4 months later. I have one more video before. Let me see this. What's this video?
Stephen implied that he...
Okay, this is good. Just a little video. He breaks it down. Let's see what he says.
Stephen implied that he not only didn't like this $12.5 million a year number that I offered him, but that he thought it should be closer to $30 million a year. That's $120 million over 4 years.
It's fucking crazy for that kind of contact.
Just for Stephen's show. I would still have to spend those tens of millions of dollars every year that I told you about on things like marketing and infrastructure and technology to support the show, the part that Stephen's never done. As soon as he said that, I knew we'll never get to a deal. I can't.
I hate when they say $10 million on technology. It's a fucking microphone and a camera. That's all it is. Good.
Guarantee $30 million a year?
That is crazy money.
I didn't know how I was going to pay for 50. I thought, not that he isn't worth it, but that's a big risk. $120 million is an incalculable risk for a company our size. Yeah. And again, I'm not saying Stephen isn't worth it. I hope he is. I
You're like, I'm not saying he's not worth it, but he's really not worth it.
hope he builds his own business. He'll make a ton of mistakes. He'll find out that he's wrong about a lot of how the business world works. He'll learn and he'll grow because he's a smart, talented guy. And I hope he gets to a place where he's proving me wrong and he's making all that money. But that just was not a deal that the Daily Wire could possibly make.
That's right. And I agree with him 100%. I really, really do agree with him. Let me see if I have any more videos. I don't have any more. Let me see.
No, I don't get it. Okay, Negro. Negro is the next one. Now, I know I just wanted to just, boom.
Yeah.
Boom. There's the cold water. The word Negro, we think it's so offensive. And I got in trouble when I was saying it. I said it in a car once, and there was a black kid in the car. And I remember I said it. I would have been, we were carpooling. I said it specifically because I thought it was less offensive than black. Yeah. And the reason was because
this is the content that Steven Crowder does every day on his show. It's about putting down minorities, women, gays, Asians, anybody. He's a sucker. He's what you call a punk. Why is he a punk? Because strong people or tough people, they don't need to have a gun holster on camera or have a picture of a gun. You don't need that. You know, you're doing a show. You're supposed to be a comedian. What the hell is all that? Anyway, the takeaway from this is forget about all the stuff. Where is this money coming from? $12 million, and just a starting point. Maybe they're going to give him $15-20 million a year. That's a lot of money, man. It gives you an idea that the right-wing media has a lot of money, has a lot of billionaires who are throwing money at them. Because the left-wing media, we don't have nothing. We got the Young Turks. They're probably good. The Majority Report with Sam Cedar, who I adore. He probably doesn't make that much money. You have, what's his name on Twitch, Hassan. Hassan is a piece of shit. He spent 8 hours a day. Fuck, he's going to die behind a microphone, thinking that if he takes a day off, he's going to lose those crowds. And that's not a business model he got there. Anyway, you know, this is what I had to say, man. This is my take. And $50 million. The Daily Wire, listen, I will do it for $2 million a year. And I'll pretend that I'm right-wing and I hate all the stuff. And I'll say the things that you like. Anyway, God bless you. This is Omar. Until we meet next time, stay tuned, comment. Just say anything, man. Support this channel, share, do whatever you want, man. Give us an opportunity. Give us a chance like these other channels. Because we don't get these opportunities. Nobody wants to collaborate with us or invite us into their YouTube channels. Never with these left-wing, they're the piece of shit, all of them. You understand? Anyway, let me just say goodbye. Yeah. All right. Boom, bada, boom, bada, boom. All right.